Hello and welcome to the Garden Gate. This is Skud from SkudPaiSho.com. Today I wanted to take a quick look at a tournament game that was a recent match from the c0n0li0 Roun-Jians House Party Tournament. So if we go into the Tournaments menu, you can find the tournament. If it is after the tournament when you're watching this, you can look at the Show Completed Tournaments in order to find this. And this is in the winner's bracket, round 3, BaronAlbatross versus c0n0li0 game. So you can click that to jump right in and take a look at this. So we'll see the end of the game here. c0n0li0, as the guest here, will be the winner. The winning move was a boat that bumps up this white jade, the white 5 flower, into place. So let's take a look right from the beginning how this all goes down. I'm going to take some accent tiles, get out a red 4, red 5 start for both of them, and move up towards the center. This is an opening to start forming a harmony ring right away across opposite sides of the board for both players. Now we see that starting to happen, and the guest will plant the orchid to prevent the host, Baron, from gaining control of those opposite gates to continue his momentum of that. So bringing out the orchid for the host as well, and we'll look at a few moves here as they each take turns moving, planting. They're preparing to both have a lotus out with an orchid that would be able to capture, having a blooming lotus. And then we see Baron taking over this gate here, setting up to be able to form a harmony here and keep some momentum going, all the while preventing the guest from getting into this gate as well. So right here is a pretty good rock move while setting up this position here for the guest for c0n0li. This rock is here not only to prevent this line of Baron, but also to prevent this red 4 from coming out and quickly harmonizing with the red 5. So a pretty good way to slow down the host here, and if he does still choose to move this flower out, it would leave the gate free as he would not be able to plant an extra tile in there. And so leaving this gate filled, he's going to bring out the orchid, and here's one of the key moves in this game where c0n0li brings up his orchid, disrupting his own harmony. If this harmony were still there, if we take a look here, he has no real potential of forming another harmony on the board. In order to get a bonus, if he needs to use an accent tile to thwart the opponent or be able to plant a new flower if he had no growing flowers. So moving this up here gives him the potential of reforming this harmony in order to use a bonus. And so we'll see the host comes out here with a jasmine, but working on forming the ring that he has to build up here. Okay, and now we see that move of the orchid by c0n0li, moving it up there into position to trap the host's orchid, to slow them both down, reforming this harmony, and being able to plant down here, all in the same move. This move right here is a key move in the game. Being able to only do one of these two things, if he was unable to get the bonus to plant here and move the orchid into position here, would have really changed things. He would have either left this gate open for the host to take and work on this area down here, or maybe left the orchid free to roam and free to capture perhaps this piece. And so the host comes out, drops a knotweed here, a very effective against the lotus that can only move 2. Moving 2, perhaps there or there, the lotus will not be able to easily get away from the knotweed, canceling any harmonies it can make. So a good way to slow down the lotus with the knotweed there. Okay, and the guest comes up with the red 3 here to form harmony here, and get out another red 3 up at the top. which is set up to capture the white 3 here. We will talk a little bit about that capture now. It happens after the host gets the opportunity to claim the southern gate here. So this capture happens, which also forms a harmony with the opponent's white lotus, giving him the opportunity to plant a new flower, and then that is set up to perhaps move out here, form harmony there, move out this way, with either forming harmony with either of these tiles here. It's important to note that capturing in this game can be very defensive in that it's possible to capture and really only slow down your opponent and not make any progress yourself, which may not be the best move. But when you're able to capture and build your own momentum, getting a bonus, filling this gate, for example, setting up more harmonies, that is where it can be a great move to capture. So the host is able to move out here, and instead of being able to plant more, so he also already has the growing flower in a gate, so he's not able to plant a new flower on a bonus. So he goes ahead and uses the boat that was on the, to take out the rock that was on this point here. The boat clears that off the board, and he is hoping to be able to build here for the win. Okay, but c0n0li is able to move this flower out, as we thought about before, saw that potential, and planting a new flower in the south. It's another white 5, ready to form the other corner of the ring here. Okay, and this move is a very good example of a nice tricky move that really changes the state of the board. So Baron had the red 5 over here in this area. He jumps it into this quadrant, which really is going to change the whole purpose of this flower in his setup. He now has this harmony and is ready to move the red 4 over here into place. Perhaps could get out another red 5 to harmonize up here in order to connect this here. Moving these pieces down would be a good position to win. But that lets the guest, c0n0li, move out here, form this harmony, planting a white 4, and note that the white 4 is obviously set up to form a harmony with the white 5 here. It would not be able to move right here, however, because of the clash it would form with the red 4, though it is within reach of capturing this red 4, which would cause this new harmony to form, giving him the opportunity to use on the bonus a wheel or a boat in order to shift this over, forming that for the win. And we'll take a look at what the host does to respond. Okay, nicely sliding this piece over, which again changes how it's being used. It's now over here in line here, which again lets this harmony here be used in sort of a ring that could form this way across this length of the board. And he also has the opportunity to still build out here, so having a couple different options for the win there. So that's a good thing to think about, how you can shift your own tiles to get these different opportunities to form on the board. Likewise, earlier we saw that after this knotweed had fallen especially, we have the guest, c0n0li, who sort of took over these gates and sort of restarted building his chain this way. So he has this opportunity and then also this opportunity that is a little more strong at this point, especially with the next move being the win. So the red 3 that was here was set up to shift over, form harmony, and then a boat could bump this up for the win. It's a little more of a tricky move that was harder to spot than the white 4 coming out, which is another important part of this game. Setting up a little bit of a bait on a move that might be a little more visible in order to have another trick up your sleeve with a move that might be a little bit harder to spot with how accent tiles can shift things around. And note here that the boat was used to bump this up for the win, and a wheel could not have been used because as a wheel turns things clockwise, playing it over here would shift the flower down instead of up. And playing it over here would obviously be blocking the harmony that is needed for the win, although it would move this tile up. But then also the wheel being played here, if this space was empty, couldn't even happen because a wheel cannot attempt to be played if it would move a flower out of a gate. So it's important to think about how the wheel is restricted in that way and play accordingly. Being able to move your tiles into position where a wheel cannot be used by your opponent to win can be very important and powerful. Okay, so a couple great moves in this game that we saw with the moving the orchid out to disrupt your own harmony so that you can move it to where you want it to go and get a bonus at the same time. That was a key move in this game because of how c0n0li, the guest, was able to achieve both of those things, blocking this gate with that move, trapping the host's lotus with orchid with that move. And then again we saw some good accent tile plays, blocking out this lotus from really being effective and slowing him down building this way. And again we saw a tricky shifting of how a flower was even being used, which the lotus is really key in being able to pull something like that off. If you were able to really build a setup and plan something like that to happen, it could really throw off an opponent. So this game was a great game, and I loved being able to take a look at it. And you can too. Head to scudpaisho.com. Enjoy the rest of the tournament. Enjoy looking through the tournament games, and we'll see you next time at the Garden Gate.